Objectively, from a neutral standpoint, that was a great playoff game. It had special teams, it had 5-on-5, it was close all the way, it had great saves, an overtime, everything you wanted. From an Avs perspective, it feels like it's a bit of a missed opportunity. Avs lose to the Dallas Stars 4-3 in overtime to even the series at 1. Honestly, this game felt like Dallas's actual entry into this series. I know the first game was close for a good portion of it, but at 5-on-5, the Avs had been in control of this series. And that was partially true for the first period of this game, too. The Avs got the better possession and looked like the better team in the first period at 5-on-5. Neither team scores at 5-on-5 in that period. They both get goals on the power play. The Avs are the team to strike first there. Incredibly similar to the first power play goal for the Avs in game 1. You see the usual perimeter work that they do. McKinnon is showing a little bit of movement at least. He comes in from behind the net, back up to this top spot, swapping with Nichushkin. So that is a little bit different, but ultimately things play out the same here as Dallas just gives Nathan McKinnon room to shoot the puck. They're playing those passes that the Avs often do overuse. I understand playing it that way, but Nathan McKinnon's still really good, and when you give him room to shoot, he can beat you. That's how it works. McKinnon's power play production is great and crucial for the Colorado Avalanche in this series. They need that from him, and it's great to see him shooting when Dallas is giving him the space to do so. That is something the Avs need to build on and take more into their 5-on-5 game. And on the whole, the Avs penalty kill would actually come up pretty darn clutch for them later in this game, but the one in the first period was not a good one. The first 60 seconds of this power play were actually pretty good. The Avs are doing a good job of it. But on the zone entry here, it just falls apart in a hurry. You see Josh Manson looking to step up on a play where Lehkonen as the high forward is beat. So if Josh Manson misses here, you are already in trouble with two players behind the play on a penalty kill. And Manson does get a piece of him. He also just completely loses his footing and falls over and eats it. So now you're in just full chaos mode if you're Colorado, right? You're just trying to recover this situation as Dallas still has possession, and the Avs don't recover well at all. Their recovery plan is to drop everybody into a triangle in the slot, which initially is okay, all right? You're taking away a dangerous area with multiple stars charging into it. Fine, but as the play continues to develop, you get a diving play that forces Ben to the outside, you get two players committing to Ben, and coverage just breaks down by the second as an absolute disaster occurs. As Ben moves in behind the net, you now have all four Avalanche defenders circling their own crease, essentially covering nobody. I guess technically you're covering the one guy also in the crease, but you have a wide open guy here. Up high in the zone is completely wide open, and Sagan, who ends up being the problem, is open in the near circle. So as the two-step pass comes through, the Avalanche are simply chasing the puck, rotating around, following the puck behind it. That's a disaster defensively, and of course you get burned for it. A catastrophic systemic failure there for the Avs penalty kill. Everything fell apart and they got punished for it. Pretty straightforward. Despite it being imperfect, I think for good portions of this game, you still felt pretty good about the Avs. The second period, things started to struggle, I would say, at least on the underlying metrics. It was the first period of the series that Dallas actually played better than Colorado. And even despite that, Colorado still won the period. They do give up an early goal, though. Puck deep in the Avs zone, they're going back to retrieve it, and the Avs are going to ultimately lose this puck battle as it squirts out towards the circle here. If you're looking for something to fix on this play, it's winning this puck battle. That's what the Avs can do better. When Dallas wins the battle, they get it back out up high to their dangerous players. And look, I don't really know what Coyle's supposed to do better here. He's respecting the shot from Harley. He goes to play the shot, and Harley was trying to shoot it. He just whiffs on the puck. So that puts Coyle out of position. Harley's able to collect, find an open gap, and then puts a nice shot in that beats Blackwood. Look, the Avs got good luck and bounces in game 1. Dallas was probably going to get some good luck and bounces their way in game 2. A fanned puck that acts as a perfect deke is a bit of good luck. Thankfully, Colorado has an answer just a bit over a minute later. It's not perfect hockey, but the Avs are able to get possession and get the puck up out of the zone. Now, LOC doesn't handle it very well, but what's his reaction to the misplay? Get on his horse and win the race. Make up for your mistake by making a better play. He wins that race and then does a beautiful pull-up here to create space for himself. Honestly, looks a little bit like Nathan MacKinnon there. It's not perfect, but it works. And as he gets help screaming into the zone, Dallas hasn't recovered their lanes very well. You have options, and he ends up hitting Jack Drury with the later man coming down the middle, who picks a very nice shot short side. Andr might want that one back too. The Avs' fourth line was their best forward line in this game by a lot at 5-on-5, which on the one hand, great that you have the depth that can step up and do that for you. Great that you are winning that part of this series where you rely on your fourth line more than Dallas can. And I don't want to take anything away from the game that Logan O'Connor had, especially. He was probably the best player in this hockey game for either team. But also, there should be some red flags going up there. If your fourth line is your best line, you probably need more from the rest of your forwards. Your depth getting the job done continues for you through the second period, as you get to the second half of it, the Avs take 3 consecutive penalties. There's a short break in there, but it's pretty rough stretch of hockey where they do need to kill nearly 6 minutes of time. And not only do they manage to kill all of that, after the third one is over with less than a minute to go in the period, they march down and give you a lead. This is immediately after killing 3 penalties in the last 8 or so minutes, and LOC is a primary penalty killer for the Avs, so keep that in mind. His legs should be pretty shot at this point. The Avs are able to win a battle down in deep, some good work from the defenseman. MacKinnon jumps on the puck, gets it up the ice, and it's off to the races with Girard, Lehkonen, and LOC across here. So 3-on-2, they're able to get the zone. Unbelievable work from Lecky here. I think super underrated because he barely ever has the puck on his stick in the zone here. But to be strong enough to find this, muscle his guy, and get his stick on the puck to make an effective pass to LOC, it's great work. LOC down the middle, has the lead on his man. It's a bit of an awkward. He does a good job using his body to protect the puck, defend himself, and give himself an opportunity to go to the net here. That does force him on his backhand, though. But who cares? Turns out, LOC learned how to backhand. That thing is disgusting. That genuinely might be the best shot of Logan O'Connor's career. Absolutely ridiculous backhand. Despite one of your shakiest periods, the Avs still have a lead in this game. And this is where things start to separate. In game 1, the Avs played a good third period. Yes, Dallas pushed at the start of it, got the game close, but then the Avs shut it down, they weathered the storm, and ultimately buried Dallas. In this third period, the Avs honestly weren't even very competitive. They struggled to make basic, simple 101 hockey plays for most, if not all, of the third. Catching simple passes, making simple breakout decisions were just non-existent, and a stubbornness of trying to cut to the middle through bad ice and tight Dallas defense time and time again failed, and yet they refused to change their strategy. If I'm being honest about it, I think the Avs might have been lucky that this game even got to overtime based on the way they played in the third period. When you get repeatedly outworked, the inevitable does eventually happen. A lot of the telltale signs that a team is just getting outworked on this goal. A dumped in puck. Girard goes back to collect, and he gets hit, and a battle ensues. A battle which the Avs ultimately are unable to win as Girard's clearing attempt gets cut off up the wall, and then the Avs are chasing the play. You can see the discombobulation coming in, multiple players covering the same guys left open out high in the zone, chaos scrambling back in towards your net. As this puck comes through, Kiviranta just completely loses the positional battle in an absolutely brutal way. It's not even really competitive. Even so, if Blackwood tracks this puck and knows where it is, it should be an easy cover. But he has no idea where this puck is and actively opens up his 5-hole to allow the goal in. Blackwood was fine in this game, for the record. I would like a save here or there, but the reality is, in game 1, at times the Avs asked Mackenzie Blackwood to save their butts, and he did. And in game 2, the Avs were actively detrimental to helping Mackenzie Blackwood, and he couldn't bail them out again. Blackwood needs more help with the defense in front of him, especially the way the Avs played in that third period and in parts of overtime. Help him more. We get into that overtime, and that overtime was actually awesome. I know the outcome isn't good for Colorado, but if you go back and watch that overtime, It's crazy. I think there's like 3 whistles total across 17 minutes of overtime hockey. Possession ended up pretty even. You felt like Dallas probably played better for the first portion, then the Avs pushed back, and then it started slopping up and evening out, and then ultimately Dallas goes on to win. But again, like I said at the start of this video, if you weren't an Avs fan, this was a really good playoff game. This is stuff that NHL is looking for. It's the type of stuff that creates great series. Unfortunately, unforced errors come back to haunt Colorado. The Avs were absolutely not the better team in the second half of this game, but the actual game-winning goal is some pretty self-defeating stuff for Colorado. Miles Wood gains the zone and seemingly just loses the puck for no reason. Just completely unexplainable. Just forgets to hang on to the puck. This turns things the other way. The Avs, reasonably okay spot to start in here. This is, you don't love a 2-on-2 in overtime, but it's not crazy dangerous. EJ sticks with his man well, and Miles Wood comes into back check 2 initially. This prevents anything too dangerous from the initial attempt. Despite the guy crashing the net, Blackwood is able to find it and make a decent first save, but chaos ensues from there. Number 1, EJ falls over. He can now not continue to defend his man for any potential rebounds. Number 2, you've left Sam Girard as the net front defenseman. Look, Sam Girard is not going to win strength battles in front of your net. He's Sam Girard. Number 3, Miles Wood is completely out of control in his defense. As EJ falls over, Wood, instead of trying to stay on his feet, trying to stay with his man, trying to skate around EJ, do something, ends up trying to leap over Eric Johnson's stick for some reason. And as the rebound comes out and floats right in front of Blackwood, Wood has now taken himself out of the play. EJ hasn't recovered. Your other 2 forwards aren't tracking back, which, understandable. Their job is going to be taking extra guys coming in. They shouldn't have to scream all the way in to collect a rebound. Girard trying to fight that positional battle, unaware of where the rebound is, and the Avs actively open the seas to allow Colin Blackwood to get to this rebound completely uncontested. Blackwood also freezes and makes himself small here, but what is that? How did 3 guys just completely not even try to get to a rebound? And that, of course, costs you. Losing in overtime in the playoffs obviously feels awful. There's no 2 ways around that. In that moment, sucks. This whole game feels terrible. It feels like one the Avs could have, and maybe even at sometimes should have won. But coulda, shoulda, woulda is what losers talk about. They did not win because they were not the better team. It's that simple, and that's what the playoffs are all about. You're not going to be the better team every single night, but it's how you respond to those things. The Avs got their win in Dallas. They've erased the home ice advantage. Now they have to go home and protect their home ice. If they do that, they've set themselves up to win the series. This game, though, could have put them in the driver's seat in a way that felt like they were confidently going to take this. Now they're going to have to put their nose to the grindstone and get the job done. Part of the reason I'm not concerned is because we know the Avs can, and I am very confident will, play better than that throughout the rest of this series. That was not a particularly good game. Certainly the second half of it was pretty darn poor from the Colorado Avalanche at 5-on-5. The only reason they were in the lead at all is because their fourth line was extremely good at executing on their opportunities in that second period. Their middle 6 needs to be better. You need offensive production out of those guys that is meaningful. You've got none of it from Val Nichushkin or Brock Nelson, and none of it really from your third line either. I know Coyle has a goal, but that was a garbage time, pretty meaningless one. That has to get better, and the harder conversation is your best players have to be better at 5-on-5 too. Power play from your best players is keeping them afloat. They're scoring big goals for you in that situation, but you need 5-on-5 production. 0 points at 5-on-5 through 2 games for Cale Makar, and to just 1 point from Nathan MacKinnon. You need it there. Colorado does not have to play their A++ game to win this series. Dallas is hampered with injuries, and even in this one where I felt like Dallas played probably about as good as they can play for the second half of this game, they had to eke it out. So if Colorado can turn the knob up, they'll be just fine. They have to do it, though. You have to do it. You can't just coast through. That is the end of this game video review. Thank you for watching. I am Rudo, and playoffs are great. Even when it hurts, it's great hockey.